Hi, I'm Monica from the Kona Adult Day program. Today I'm going to do a program about gnomes and fairies in our gardens. So there's a lot of fairies being sold in the stores right now, in the plant stores, and it's become very popular. People give the fairies a place in the garden to have some fun, relaxing from their hard work. They create beach scenes, holiday scenes, houses, and farms for the fairies to play. In folklore, it says that most ancient cultures believed in spirits that dwelled in the trees, rocks, and plants around them. It is thought that early European cultures morphed these spirits into fairies in their legends and folklore. Fairies are naturally born within nature, within flowers and trees, and have a very long lifespan. There's a grouping under fairies. There's pixies, elves, and gnomes, but the traditional one is human-like, very tiny with fluttery wings. There's one fairy I think of right away when I think of this type of fairy. She's from Neverland. Tinkerbell. She was born from the first laugh of a baby and is brought by the winds to Pixie Hollow, and Queen Clarion welcomes her. There are a lot of different stories about fairies, some more famous than others. When you were a child, did you see fairies? Is there any famous stories you were told about fairies? One example is Thumbelina. We also have our tooth fairy. A famous Irish myth. This fairy myth began with Irish ancestors living in the British Isles known as Tuatha De Danann. They were driven underground into the forest as a result of battles over power and land. To avoid battle, a mediator assigned the ground above to the Malaysians and allotted the underground to the Tuatha De Danann. Myth suggests that the fairies grew smaller as time passed, and their existence became known only to legend. They used the cover of the forest to come out and play and dance and interact with mankind. So that's a background as to why we could have a garden with fairy furniture and houses in it. It's also just very pretty, very nice to look at. Some examples following this page for what your garden can look like. You can go on Pinterest for really good ideas. You can use any plant you want. You can use succulents, perennials. You can do it inside the house with house plants. Outside, I've seen it in the grass and around the trees. One of my favorites is also a birdhouse or a bird bath. Another popular item in our gardens is the gnomes. Do you love to hate these garden decorations, or have you come to realize that they're just super fun and they're just a blast to put in your garden? Garden gnomes were first produced in Germany in the early 1800s. They're made of clay and typically painted with red hats, and the red hats are known to hide them in the garden during the day. They first appeared in gardens in England in the 1840s, where popularity took off. In European folklore, the gnome was a dwarfish subterranean goblin or earth spirit who guards mines and special treasures hidden in the earth. At night, the garden gnome will tend to the garden, work on his own home, or may choose to engage in prankster activities. Younger gnomes may move plants around at night just to confuse the gardener the next day. They love to tell stories and have an active sense of humor. Traditionally, gnomes are male, but you can find some female ones. Gnomes are a symbol of good luck. There's house gnomes as well as the garden gnomes. So if you hear any creaking in your house at night, that's just the gnome checking in on you to make sure you and your family are doing okay. They also give you that little nudge at night to remind you to lock your door. There's farm gnomes. They're an important gnome to keep an eye on your livestock, and they subtly warn the farmer if there's a predator nearby, such as foxes or wolves. And they have been known to milk the cows before you even wake up. People place gnomes around the farm to make sure they help take care of things for them. Some trivia. Which of these statements is true about the gnomes? They live underground. They're always clean shaven. They grow to 7 feet tall, or they're 90-pound weaklings. The answer is they live underground. According to folklore, gnomes are the guardians of hidden anxieties, treasures, Easter eggs, or images. The answer is treasures. On to the decorative gnomes. Where were garden gnomes first created? Russia, Germany, Peru, or Argentina? Germany. What do garden gnomes always wear? Gym socks, pointy hats, leather and lace, or wooden shoes? Pointy hats. This year, a lot of fun sayings came out with the gnomes. At Christmas time, you probably saw "I'll be gnome for Christmas" or "There's no place like gnome." So these are some fun sayings you can put on if you're making a craft. Thank you so much for joining me. It's just a fun way to add to our gardens. We're home more this year, so maybe we could just take some more of our creativity and get those fairy gardens going, or add some gnomes to some fun spots in our gardens or outside, anywhere. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.